Formed for a purpose, embracing God's unique design for your life. For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. Have you ever questioned your worth, wondered why your life looks different from others, or why your journey hasn't followed the path you expected? It's a question many of us ask at some point, especially when life feels broken, complicated, or far from special. But what if the very things that set you apart or even set you back are actually part of God's intentional design for your life? The Bible tells us clearly you are God's handiwork, not an accident, not a second thought, handcrafted with intention. Every part of you, your story, your experiences, your gifts, was designed by a loving Creator who already prepared good works for you to walk in. God's design is always deliberate. When God created you, He didn't do so casually or thoughtlessly. Psalm 139 reminds us that He knit us together in our mother's womb and that we're fearfully and wonderfully made. Every detail about you, your personality, your talents, your passions, even your scars has meaning and purpose. Even the hardships you faced are not wasted. They become the very ground where God plants resilience, empathy, wisdom, and strength. There are no common lives in God's kingdom. There are only unique callings waiting to be lived out. The trap of comparison, one of the biggest ways we lose sight of our God-given design, is through comparison. We look at someone else, their beauty, their talents, their success, and we think, if only I could be more like them. But imagine a puzzle made up of 1,000 of pieces. Each piece is uniquely shaped. Each one carries a different color, edge, or curve. What would happen if one puzzle piece, admiring another, decided it needed to be exactly the same shape and pattern? The overall picture would be ruined. Gaps would appear. Pieces would no longer fit together. The beauty of the puzzle lies in the diversity of its pieces. So it is with us. You were crafted to fit perfectly into the part of God's bigger picture that only you can fill. If you abandon your unique shape to mimic someone else, you disrupt the masterpiece God is forming. The bowl and the vase picture also a humble clay bowl designed to hold food, essential, sturdy, and valuable. Across the room sits a delicate ornamental vase painted with vibrant colors, admired for its beauty. The bowl starts to wish it were a vase, thinking, if only I were more beautiful, maybe I would be valued more. But the truth is, both the bowl and the vase serve different, important purposes. If the bowl tries to become a vase, it loses its original strength, its ability to nourish and serve daily needs. In the same way, if we envy the calling or appearance of someone else, we risk forfeiting the essential role we were created to fulfill. In God's eyes, both vessels are equally important because they are used according to His perfect design. God uses your weaknesses, not just your strengths. One of the most beautiful truths about God's shaping process is that He uses our weaknesses as much as, if not more than, our strengths. 2 Corinthians 12 tells us, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Your limitations aren't liabilities in God's eyes. They're opportunities for His glory to shine through you. The parts of your life you might want to hide or erase may be the very platforms God uses to display His grace and power. How to embrace your God-given design? Well, here are a few steps to help you align with the identity and purpose God has already given you. 1. Accept who you are. Self-acceptance is not prideful, it's an act of worship. Acknowledging that God did not make a mistake in creating you is the first step to living with freedom. Say yes to who He made you to be, flaws and all. 2. Invite God to heal and shape you. Healing is often part of living out your purpose. God doesn't expect you to have it all together. He desires a willing, surrendered heart. Trust Him to heal your wounds and turn your brokenness into beauty. 3. Stay faithful in the small things. Before we walk in big assignments, God often tests our faithfulness in small, unseen places. Serve where you are. Grow where you're planted. Let God develop your character before promoting you into greater influence. 4. Walk boldly in your lane. You have a unique lane to run in. Stay focused. Celebrate others without comparing. Pursue excellence without striving. Remember, success is not measured by fame, but by obedience. Final thoughts. God's design for you is intentional. Your life matters. Your story matters. You are not a spare part or an afterthought. Even if you've been broken, scarred, or delayed, your life still carries divine purpose. When you surrender your story into God's hands, He crafts something more beautiful than you could ever imagine. So walk boldly, live fully, be the puzzle piece only you can be the vessel you were created to be. The world needs your shape, your voice, your story, for you were made for such a time as this.